in today's video, we are actually taking the next step of part 1 of last video, and today is about fertilizing all our berry trees and our fruit trees so that when they actually start producing their fruit, they can just soak up that most beautiful nutrients that we're going to feed them, and they can push out the most amazing fruits for us to harvest. So let's go on the journey and let's start fertilizing everything. Okay, so I'm looking for some slow releasing fertilizer for all the fruit trees. Normally when they start budding and that, you're looking for your NKP, which I would then afterwards give them the bio ocean. I swear by this, it's really good. So right now I think we can choose that one, and that's what we got right here. Also Atlantic Fertilizer, really good name. Also want to try and get some other stuff here. I need to also do the berries, so spag moss and slow releasing berry fertilizer for the berries, so each fruit tree will have its own ratio. So as I mentioned, we are going to fertilize the pots with the fruit trees. Just done a video on amazing compost and show you what has been brewing during winter, and the compost that we got from our 3 bays. We have so much leaves and grass clippings and straw from the animals that we kind of like running out of bays, but we don't have enough space in our homestead to put another bay. So this was a perfect time to actually get this compost. You can see how beautiful it is. We have sieved out a whole bunch of compost, and this is the compost. I'm going to mix some slow releasing fertilizer for the plants so that their fruits can just plump up a bit and we can get an amazing harvest. What else am I going to put it in? Yeah, that's about it. I don't want anything too fancy, anything that's going to destroy the balance, and I'm very happy with the suggestion. So let's get into just topping up our fruit trees. The bunnies are up to no good. Okay, so we are going to probably start on this end, and I'm wanting to get this all done by today. It's not as draining as the blueberries and the berries that I've just done. Of course, it's just done a video that will probably be released before this. I'm not sure. If not, it'll be after this. But what we went and done, we took all the mulch out, some of the soil, and then we put fertilizer. We topped it up with spag moss, and then we put the mulch back. It took half a day to do, and I haven't got too many berries, but it had to be done. In this case, all I'm doing is I'm taking the layer of the mulch out, and the reason I'm doing this now is obviously the trees have all started to wake up, and even the grape that has not woken up will eventually wake up during spring. Will have to wake up to some nutrients in the soil so it can start pushing out some new canes and hopefully give us at least one batch of grapes. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing a wild job here. And then I have some slow release fertilizer. So I'm going this time with Atlantic Fertilizers, flower and fruit. I normally go with the Bio Ocean. I'm a big believer. The yield that I got from using the Bio Ocean, this will also do. And I'm just going to put like less than a handful of this in. You can see there. Mix it into the soil a bit. We are going to use our homemade compost. Maybe mix it in with a little bit of bought store compost. And now we've got lemon, custard, apple, we have a cherry, and then on the other side we have the nectarines, the peach, the plum, and the cara. The apple has started to wake up. It's the first apple to wake up. Okay, and then also you don't have to use bark chips. You can use straw, you can use any material you want to use to mulch, even shavings. Okay, apple trees done. I also need to make sure I water this evening. And guys, tomorrow's spring. It's finally spring.
Much later.
Another week has passed. You can see the fig tree has finally woken up. You got these beautiful little leaves just pushing out. You can see some new ones here. And this is looking absolutely gorgeous. So what's going to happen is we're going to get a branch that side, another one shooting there, a few here, and that is perfect because it's how I've cut it and how I want it to grow. So we'll just wait until these guys get a little bit bigger, but the fig tree has woken up. I'm going to come to the next fig tree. Same variety, I think. Wasn't sure, it was gifted to us, and you can see that this one's also woken up. So you can see where I've cut it, it will start growing out that way. Remember, only fruits will start bearing on the new growth, so that is why we cut this down. Some nice new growth here, so this will come upwards. So spring is definitely in full force. We have our beautiful 8-ball pomegranate full of leaves. It is the 5th of September, and you can see how full the goji berry tree is. It's woken up very nicely, and obviously a bird has been trying to make a nest in here. The garden's looking absolutely gorgeous, and this is something we're going to try and see if it's going to start shooting up. It is our pineapples we've had for the last 3 years, and I finally took it out of the hothouse. So just do a little bit of a clean out at the bottom and see if there's more pups. Take the pups and see if it will grow. Okay, so I did give you guys feedback on the custard apple tree. Very slow in opening its leaves, but it is awake. And the Granny Smith, which is the green apple tree, is bearing beautiful leaves, and we have some flowers over there which could be potential fruit. So I'm hoping this year I get fruit because I've done what I needed to do. I made sure that I've given it a top up with fresh compost. It has all the nutrients it has to grow, and also gave it liquid fertilizer 3 weeks before doing this. And I've got slow release fertilizer in this new soil. So I'm hoping that it is happy. And I'm just checking. I didn't actually trim this season. I actually left it to how it was last year, and you can see over here that this is a new branch, which is perfect. So we'll have a branch growing there. But what I want to encourage this tree to do is actually shoot off this way and actually make a nice even bush, so you can see that there's a branch here. There will be a new one coming out there. There's a new one here. So there seems to be new branches, which is perfect, exactly what I wanted. And we swing over here, and finally the gala apple tree, which is the red apple tree, has woken up. You can see over here as well. All of this will slowly turn to green. All of these, by the notes, will all start turning green. We have the cherry, and every single day I'm coming to see if there's cherries. I do see something happening there, so I'm hoping that while I'm at work, the pollinators come and they do their thing, and before you know it, we're going to have cherries. I'm hoping for it. So yeah, keep you updated on that. Pomegranate tree is looking amazing, and now what I'm waiting for is to see beautiful flowers. And the flowers normally like a red flower, and then it opens and that becomes the actual fruit. Oh, I actually see one. Talking about that, there you go. There's our very first flower, guys. That is what we're looking for. That is a potential fruit that will open up, and if pollinated correctly, you'll get a pomegranate from there. And last year I actually had to self-pollinate because all of these little things, there's another one, had fallen off, meaning that they weren't being pollinated correctly by the insects. So everything in the garden has actually woken up except the grapevine, and the grapevine normally is the last one to wake up. The grapevine and the fig tree. So a year and a half ago, nearly 2 years ago, I planted the tamarella tree that was gifted to us by my mother-in-law. She had two, and unfortunately the one didn't make it. It got transfer shock. The second one made it. It actually grew really nice, and we moved it from the back to this side, only because the back didn't get sun, only got sun in winter, so it wasn't really bearing fruit. So we moved it this side, only to find out that the water actually gathers here. So we had just like recently moved in, and we're still trying to figure out how the land worked here, the back garden. And it rained really badly that the tree got root rot, and we lost it. And it was at that moment where it was just bearing a whole bunch of flowers, and it was bearing fruit, like little baby fruits. The tree died, and it broke my heart because I had tasted the variety on that plant, and it really blew my mind. So I've been trying for a year and a half to look for a tamarella tree so that I can actually plant one in the homestead, and everyone has had a problem with growing it. I called so many places, and they were having problems with their suppliers. And then this year I decided, let's try again, and I think they were successful because we went to 2 nurseries today, and on the 3rd nursery there was a place, and it's quite nice and big. I'm pretty happy with it. I got 2. I actually have some fruit, which is super exciting. So I need to get this in the ground before anything and fertilize it. This one might give me some flowers and some fruit, but we got 2 beautiful tamarella plants. They couldn't tell me what variety it was. It all came in a batch, and it could be 2 different varieties. It could be from the same batch. So I don't know if it's the yellow ones or the red ones. We will only find out when they give me fruit. And so you get a few varieties. You get one that the fruit is red, and I think if you cut it open it's like a very dark orangey color. And then you get the one that is orange and is light orange inside. So I'm not sure what variety that is, but whatever variety that is, I'm sure it's going to be super nice. And then we've got the apricot. I think I actually saw some apricots on here. We've got a fruit right there. So this is how small it is. It's fruiting in a small little bag like that. And it's already given fruit on such a small little branch. It's a small tree. So by me actually putting, I've got an extra pot like that. You can see how big that pot is. It's where most of my fruit trees on the side there you can see are all in. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing for this apricot. I've got one more pot.
Much later.
The flowers have mostly all opened on the Karakara orange tree. Got some new flowers there that will still have to open, and over there some more flowers. But the flowers that have opened, I saw yesterday some bees hovering around them, which is perfect. And then you have some flowers that have fallen off, and that is where the potential fruit will start growing. So I don't know if you can see there, little orange, and if it's been pollinated correctly, it'll just start growing. If it hasn't, obviously it will fall off. And some exciting news. So I told you that the fig is like the second to last fruit tree on the homestead to actually open up and wake up and that. And then the grape is the last fruit found to wake up. And I've been looking every single day to see if it's woken up, and I can actually see signs of it waking up. So I'm going to turn the camera around again and show you guys. So if you look closely at the node over there, you can see we've got our very first sign of life. And if I run it to the other side, there is another sign of life.
Much later.
On this side, we have the cherry. Now remember guys, just before I left, say over a month ago, we gave the trees, before they woke up, they weren't awake, tea fertilizer, liquid tea fertilizer. And then when they started waking up, I gave them a top up of fresh compost and soil with slow releasing pellets, and I topped it up with beautiful mulch, and they've woken up and given me signs of cherries. So that is super exciting. Remember last season we didn't do the 2 apple trees and this cherry, and it didn't give us any fruits. Well, it gave me about 3 small cherries and it just fell off. They didn't mature. And now I'm just seeing signs full of cherries on this tree. So that's what happens when you guys fertilize your pots. Go check my video out on fertilizing your fruit trees. Custard apple starting to wake up nicely. Then we do have the apple gala starting to wake up, and these are flowers, so hopefully I do get apples. But if I swing around here, the Granny Smith is giving me a whole bunch of flowers. Look at that. It actually wasn't opened yesterday, it's open today, and these potential flowers that have to still open and get pollinated. So nice sign, and that's only because I went and fertilized all my trees. The new addition is the Rebecca apricot. So I bought it and it had already had a fruit there. I see another fruit there, and so I need to just cover it. So that's quite exciting for my very first apricot tree, Rebecca, and that will go into this pot. And we'll swing over here and we've got the 8-ball pomegranate, and it's looking amazing. I think it will give us a pomegranate or 2 because I do see flowers on them. Amazing. And then I did go and finally found tomato trees, aka tamarilla trees. So one is going into a pot that size, and the other one I actually just put in the raised bed, and it's looking absolutely healthy. I also see signs of flowers, a whole bunch of flowers, so it means that I might actually get fruits off both of the trees. You see over there the flowers. So everything's working up so nicely at the homestead. Here's some good news. Last time I told you about the grapevine, we had little signs of it peeking through. It has now pushed through and it has woken up. That is the first signs. So you can see if I run along here on the note, there's another leaf that's opened there. If I run this side, you can see some leaves pushing through there, and before you know it, this grapevine will be covered with big massive green leaves. Sultana plum, we are going to get beautiful plums. So there's some plums on this tree. Last year we got 5 plums and they were absolutely amazing, and this year we have a whole bunch of plums that I can see on this tree. So there is one more fruit tree that we keep forgetting because it's on the side where the compost bay is, and that is the granadella. So we got a guava villa, and then on this side we got a granadella, and look at these beautiful flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. One of the most beautiful flowers on a fruit tree. It looks a little bit like alienated, doesn't it? But you can see the vine is full of flowers popping up, and I've gone and fertilized everything. I've given this slow releasing fertilizer, and I think it's time to give it some nice liquid fertilizer as well. But just wanted to show you a whole bunch of beautiful flowers about to open. So I'm not going to know who is the guavavilla and the granadella. I guess when it fruits we'll be able to tell. 17th of September, and I just want to show you, before we close this video, the fruits that are growing on the trees after we've given them amazing fertilizer. So on this side we've got the goji berry. You can see how amazing it's looking. It's all filled with beautiful leaves, but we've got our very first only in South Africa. We've got our very first flower on the goji berry vine, and what's going to happen is that beautiful light pinky flower will slowly turn into a goji berry, and there's a few more buds here that I do see, and before you know it, this goji berry is going to be filled with red fruit, because it really does amazing, and it's much happier on the side of the homestead. And then on this side of the homestead we've got one of our tamarilla, aka tomato plants, and this one we bought with flowers, but if you look over here it has some fruit on it, so these flowers will eventually turn into some fruits, and that's super exciting because I've been looking for the last 2 years for a tamarilla plant. Another fruit that has woken up is the Granny Smith apple tree, and it is covered in beautiful flowers, which is a good sign, but the question is it going to bear apples? So we will only find that out once it's being pollinated and we see any signs of baby apples. In the first place I would be looking is here, because that's the first area that actually flowered, and the flowers have all fallen off. So now we pray that apples start forming. If so, that is a good sign. The gala apple tree, which is the red variety, has also opened up. It's looking absolutely amazing. Got some new growth on it, so that we're also watching out for. And the tree that is showing off this season is our cherry tree. So the cherry tree has given us a whole bunch of cherries, just cherries everywhere, and it hasn't even pushed out new leaves. Still looking very, very empty and open, but it's concentrated on pushing loads of fruit out this year. So this is our very first successful time with cherries. So that is why it's so important to fertilize your fruit trees before they wake up. Then we've got the pomegranate, and this is the beautiful variety of the Andalib, and you'll see all the beautiful flowers. And we've got a nice big one here. So they still need to open. The minute they open, they will get fertilized. There's some more of it there. This is the biggest one. So this one should be opening soon. This opens up, and you have two choices. You can self-pollinate it, or you can just let the bees and the insects do their thing. But we've got so much flowers here. Let me show you all the beautiful flowers. And we put these flowers in the garden not only because they look absolutely gorgeous, but also because they bring in all the beautiful bees and pollinators. So make sure you've got flowers around in your garden in order to bring in your pollinators. We've even got things like lavender, and bees absolutely love hovering around the lavender. And the last fruit tree to wake up obviously is our grapevine. It's waking up slowly. You can see that we've got some new canes. This will start turning into a cane. That is awesome. That will give us a new cane and be a nice runner there. So there is quite a few growth that is happening on this vine, which is super exciting. And then we've got the plum tree. So this is the Sultana plum tree, and they gave us 3 plums last season. We have some plums there. How cool is that? And there's a whole bunch over there. So this tree is absolutely showing off as well, and this seems to be a really good season of fruits. This is the Karakara orange tree, and look at all the baby oranges there. They're so cute. And the smell of these flowers are absolutely amazing. Yeah, all of these flowers will turn into oranges, and I just can't wait just to see them start growing. They do grow very, very slow, but at least they've started growing in the beginning of spring, and not when we first bought this tree. It started only giving us fruit at the end of summer, so the fruit didn't develop correctly. So now that we have fertilized all our fruit trees, the only thing for our fruit trees and berries is to soak all these nutrients up and start pushing out the most amazing fruits for us. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up because it means the world to me. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of our tips, and I'll definitely see you in part 3.